Hey!
Hey.
Oh, we are live at FabCon once again. It's day 3. Excited to have James Ward with us here today. James, how the heck are you doing, sir?
I'm having the best day ever.
Heck yeah! We really are having the best day ever here at FabCon. Excited to see all the new stuff, and more importantly, excited to meet all these incredible people that we're getting to meet. Oh, hey, there's Dan English.
Yeah.
Good to see you, sir. Um,
We,
oh,
we
we
got
have
a live crew here.
yeah, we got lots of stuff going on. It's really exciting. Everyone's super excited to be together.
hmm
James, what's been your big takeaway from the last 3 days?
I think one of the biggest things I've seen is after many years of saying we need those quality of life improvements, Microsoft heard us loud and clear, and they're bringing those out. So a lot of things to help the pro devs and the low coders as well, but kind of fill in those gaps that may not be like a huge feature, but are really going to make day to day much better. So
Sure. Um, I personally was exceedingly happy to finally see Key Vault show up.
yes,
Um,
the security experts in the room were very excited. I can go back and tell my VC so, and he'll throw a little party. So
yeah.
always happy to make the security people happy.
Right. How nice is it to be able to remove those security exceptions from your audit
Right.
controls, right? You go, no, we now have that control. That's now better. So
hmm
that's fantastic. Um, any other big sessions that you saw, James?
Yeah, yesterday Marco and Jay had a really good session on DAX, and they unveiled for the first time ever user-defined functions in the DAX language.
Wow.
So while at the beginning this is going to be kind of small because you have to use Timdal and whatnot, at least up front, they're talking about making it similar to the new variable library that they announced on Monday in the keynote, where they'll probably have a UDF library. So let's say you're a business and you have a certain calculation that is important to your business and that you need to propagate throughout your company. If you can define it at a tenant level variable library, then everybody is using the same calculation. You don't have to worry about the CEO seeing one number and the marketing director or salesperson seeing another number. Now, granted, that part of the vision is far off, but it's cool seeing what could come, especially as someone who's been a tenant admin at a large organization. You always want to have those features that are going to make life better for the people that are helping everybody. So,
I completely agree. As you look at user defined functions, what are some of the first functions you think of in that space?
yeah, I see for a lot of companies like your sales, if you do sales a certain way and you want to multiply it by some factor or something, or your budgeting and anything like that, where you have a very specific calculation that, and maybe it's a longer calculation that it can easily be messed up if you do it wrong, or maybe it's something that changes quarterly, and so you could have an admin go in, change it one place, and it propagates everywhere. And also, right now with the initial one we do a lot of nested DAX. And this really would prevent you from having to do the nested DAX. You could update it in the Timdal, and then it would flow through to all your DAX measures. So a lot of cool applications for it.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. I'm also super excited about parameters. I think
Yeah.
that opens up a whole wide range of
In
functionalities.
the variable library,
Yeah.
again, this is all stuff that's not big and showy, but
Mhm.
if you work in Power BI or Fabric every day, this is going to make your life so much easier. Especially like the variables when you're going between environments. That's always been a big thing. Is like, are my shortcuts pointed to the right place, or
Yeah.
am I getting dev or test data and all that? And you want to make sure you have the right data in the right environment, and this will really make it easy to know that you're
Yeah.
you're going to the right place. So
Yeah, I completely agree. Very excited about those items. Now,
in the calendar, I don't know if you heard about the DAX calendar.
no.
So Jay heard loud and clear that people have different calendars. I didn't even know there was like a retail calendar called 445 that's
Yeah,
common.
yeah, yeah.
But like fiscal years, everybody does a different fiscal year. Microsoft does July. Our company does January. We're somewhat normal in that respect, but everybody has like a different month when they start. And you can define that in your Timdal. And then when you do all like the dates functions, like the year to date, week to date, month to date, that are native in DAX, it will just base it off of your custom calendar. And you can have multiple. So let's say you want to do calendar year and fiscal year in the same
Yeah.
Power BI, you can define both of them and have both calendars work just based off which one you plug in.
Wow.
So it's a really cool thing that, like I said, quality of life, when you're doing different things in one Power BI, you don't have to go to crazy DAX lengths to make a paragraph long DAX just to calculate a year to date for a fiscal year. So,
that's interesting. I wonder if that means we're going to see. So if we could now create custom DAX calendars and add those into our models, I wonder if we're going to see a more dynamic date, a role-playing date experience in the future.
yeah, he hinted that this was just the first step. And
Yeah.
like with a lot of things, and Jay's really upfront about this, is I want to deliver what I can up front to get you excited. And I have all these other ideas in the background, but I don't want to wait for them because that'll be another year if
Right.
I wait for them. So, like with all these functions, you have to look at what the future is, not necessarily what today's application is. So,
Yeah, I agree. It's one step in and of itself doesn't necessarily get you to that next level, but you have to have the first one in place before you can have that 10th one put in. So
absolutely. As an architect, I always try to tell my team, like, when something comes out in private preview or even the beginning of GA, this is the time to really test it out, see where it can be applicable, but don't try to make it solve all your problems because that's where you'll get let down. So just try it out, get your feet wet with it, maybe in report that's not going to an executive. So if something goes wrong, it's not that big of a deal. But then 3-6 months down the road, you're like, okay, yeah, this is the real deal. So
yeah, I love that strategy. Like I like to reports that I have for me for monitoring my fabric environment, managing my stuff that I own, and I'm the only person who has to really monitor it.
Yeah,
that's where I like to try this stuff out
exactly
as early as possible, and then if it's solid for 6 months, go ahead and roll that feature into something else. So.
Speaking about admin monitoring, I know you were an early person to understand this one, but the FUAM Fabric Unified Admin Monitoring, they did a presentation this week, and it's the real deal. It does admin monitoring based completely off Microsoft Fabric.
Wow.
So you don't have to go to any Azure functions or any of the things outside of Fabric like you used to. And it's so good that Rui Romano even replied to him, I think it was on Twitter, saying, I can deprecate Power BI Monitor now because you guys have stolen the show. So when you get Rui Romano's seal of approval, that's a pretty big kudos. So for those admins out there that have a hard time, understanding what's going on in your environment, I would definitely check out that FUAM and see if it could help maybe make your life a little bit easier.
Yeah, I 100% FUAM is fantastic. I'm gonna admit I got 3/4 of the way through installing it because I wanted to do a demo of it.
Yeah.
But I like to run through once to just make sure I know the basic steps of some of the stuff, right? And then all of a sudden I got pulled onto some call, and 3 months later, here we are. I still haven't been able to get back to
That's how it always is, Chris. You want to do all the fun things, and then work gets in the way. I'm like, what are you doing, work?
Yeah.
Come on.
Don't you know we have fun things to do with data? Oh, that's awesome. All right. So was there anything as a customer, as a client of Fabric, of an early adopter, someone who's using it on a day-to-day basis, is there anything you were hoping to see but didn't see at the conference?
I would have liked to see more on the new custom, or not custom, but built-in looking custom visuals that Miguel's team is working on. I know that's a really big project, and I have to always temper myself that they're literally rebuilding all the visuals from the ground up. So I didn't realize this till I think a couple months ago, and you and I talked about it, where that's why there's all those lightning bolt visuals. That's new card, new table, whatever, because every visual has to be rebuilt from scratch.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge undertaking. I would like to see more of where they are on that project, because I know it's taking a while. But once that gets rolled out, man, our lives will be so much better, because the professionality of those visuals is so much higher than the original ones. So,
well, and I think they're also realizing that they've got some quality of life improvements to be making on the visuals as they roll them out, right? So it's not just roll out a visual, move on to the next one. It's roll out a visual, start on the next one, but then go back, clean some stuff up based on feedback, right? And so, that's an excellent point. I think so. If you guys like the stuff, make sure you're reaching out to the Amirs and the Aruns of the world to make sure that Miguel's getting proper funding for this stuff. Because
And go to the new idea site. It's a little hard to get adjusted to at first because it's forum concept, but you can put more explanations about why you want things and talking to people at Microsoft. If you can tell them how it's going to solve the problem, that like is more than a vote count. So make sure you get your ideas in there and help explain like what problem it's going to solve, and that will rocket ship that idea up the charts. So.
Yeah, James, you're spot on, and it's the business case that you're looking to solve. Like technical's okay, but if you can show a business problem you're solving with this, that works, so much better and gets good stuff through there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple Microsoft people I talked to, and they didn't realize something was causing a problem. Because sometimes when you work in an industry, like I work in healthcare, you think, oh, everybody's facing the same problem. And then you go talk to Microsoft, they're like, oh, you're the first person to mention that, but that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to make sure you tell people and tell them in a way that is not, going to offend them or whatever, but it's helping improve the project, because that's what they want to do. They want to make the product better, but they need to understand the use cases in the background and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, James, you're spot on. I think the point there you make a great point, and it's something that it's easy to overlook, right? Microsoft, huge, large place. Oh, they got billions of dollars, but really, you're talking about the work of individual people that are working really hard. They're putting in long hours. They're working nights. They're working weekends. They're I mean, I honestly, like, I don't know how late you saw the Microsoft people out last night, but
they were out late last night.
Yeah, like these guys are going hard, and I know that they work really hard on this stuff. So remember, when you're asking for things or approaching them, you're just talking to humans. Be kind to them. They'll be kind to us, right?
Yeah. They're really friendly people. So
yeah,
they're good people.
Yeah, excellent. All right, James. We're trying to keep these a little short today.
Yeah.
So if there's any word of advice you'd have to someone who's sitting at home, not at FabCon, what would that be?
I would say don't try to learn everything. So many people I talk to say the hardest part about Fabric is it's end to end and you have to know every piece. Yeah. I don't know every piece, and I'm an architect. I know the pieces that are important to what my company is working towards. And so if you're looking at the blog that was released on Monday of all the new features, find the ones that are most applicable to what you do day to day and do a deep dive on those. Like I was saying, find a report that's not consequential, try to build those into that report. And then the other ones will come along when you have time to work on them. But don't read that blog and feel like you have to know the ins and outs of everything from the top to the bottom.
That is excellent advice. Don't try to know it all.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
If they say they do, they're lying to you.
Yeah, that is spot on. Well, James, thank you so much for taking your time to be on the live stream today.
Thank you, Chris, and thanks for making it the best day ever.
Heck yeah, it is the best day ever. Well, thank you guys for joining in. I haven't said this once, but we'll say it now. Like, subscribe.
Do all the YouTube things.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm a bad YouTuber. Because it's now the 415th live stream, and this is the first time I remembered it at the end of it. So, but thank you guys. Stay tuned. We're going to continue to go live until 2 p.m. Pacific time, or 2 p.m. in Las Vegas. We'll be here going live with people. So stay tuned. Keep that.
Tell Chris who you want to see. He can pull people out of the audience. So.
Yeah. Let me know. Shoot me a post on X, on LinkedIn, wherever you're at, and we'll try and get other people in. All right. You guys, we'll talk to you later. Peace. Uh-oh.
Baker Tilly Digital combines strategic industry insight and advanced technical expertise to uncover and solve your digital transformation challenges. If you're interested in learning more, check out our website at bakertilly.com/digital.